Hello and welcome back to this episode of The Sugar Show. It is coming on Love Month, my friends. We are recording this in January, leading up to, I think it's the Sugar Pros' favorite month of the year because we are smoothing the loved ones out there to make sure that they are happy for the Valentine's month. But that comes with, some challenges. So I brought on our latest contributor, and she is going to be with us for a very long time inside this community because I love me some Jennifer. This is Jennifer Weir. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello. Thank you, Sugar Shan. I'm so excited to be here.
So Jen, tell them exactly what it is you do and all the wonderful things about the coaching that you provide.
Absolutely. So first, thank you so much for having me on. This is such a dream to be alongside of you. I just love, love, love you. You are the best human in the world. So I am a certified life coach, and I also have my master's degree in education. And so between the two of them, I do a lot of teaching as well as a lot of coaching with my clients. I do mostly serve single Christian moms who are just kind of out in the world, who kind of have that feeling of like, they know that there's something more for them. They're pretty happy, but they're not really sure why they've got that kind of feeling that like there's more to their purpose in life than what they're doing. And I help them identify that purpose, and I help them just take massive action, go big and go get it. And so that's really what I do in my coaching. It's a lot of I would say, identifying barriers that we put in front of ourselves, not only for ourselves and our own success, but even our success in our parenting, a success in our business. We have a lot of business owning moms who utilize me, and they really have been able to identify like what their kind of brains are doing to keep them from being like all in, all successful. So that is what I offer, and I'm so excited to be here to offer it to you guys.
I love it. Well, we love talking about going big here inside the community. And our motto for this year is to sugar thrive. So we are no longer just surviving, Jennifer. We are thriving in this group. And this is really an exciting time for you to join us and to be a part of our Sugar and Soul series inside the Sugar Show and be really a great resource to help us go big and go all in. So
I'm in. I'm all in.
Yes, I know you are. And so I want to back up and let everyone know how I know you, which is actually you are one of our sugar clients at Sugar Mama's Beauty Collab. And we do a lot of talking on that table. And so one day, Jen and I, we have just had lots of laughs and lots of back and forth about life. And I looked at her one day and I was like, girl, I think I need you on the Sugar Show. And here we are. Our dream is coming to fruition. Go bigger. Go home, I guess. I love it. True. So thank you for jumping off the table and coming into
my clothes back, putting my pants back on.
No, we just do your brows, right? That's what I tell the kids. So yes. So, okay, let's really dive into this because for those folks that have got us in their ear and they're taking a walk with the dog or, maybe they're driving to work and just really wanting to think about this topic today. And the topic that we're choosing is about being supported. And I think it's really important for us as practitioners, as sugaring professionals to understand that we're going and doing and providing for our clients all the time. I always ask my sugar pros, what are you doing for yourself? And some of my students have really identified that they feel like they're not quite as supported as they might want to be. And so I've got you here on a podcast today so we can talk about what being supported actually is and really how to help you feel a little bit more supported and accept that support, right? Because sometimes we don't accept the support. We just feel like we're not supported, right? And so what does that even look like? So we're going to talk about that today. And then I do know that there are some folks in the audience that their partner maybe really isn't super supportive, especially when it comes to some sensitive areas. Sugar pros, as you know, we do Brazilians, male and female. However, someone identifies, we do Brazilians, and some partners aren't super supportive of that. And so we're going to address that in the show today as well. So let's first start out by the whole idea of feeling like you're not supported in your business. Let's talk about that, Jen.
Yeah. So, I mean, the word support in itself is so vague, and we all talk about it like we think we know what it means. It's kind of like respect. We're like, oh, well, he respects me or he doesn't. Like, what does that mean anyway? Like, excuse me. So, what I would love to kind of offer you to challenge your brains on a little bit is just to think about what if you had to write a how to manual, like the care and feeding of you on what support looks like to you. And that is going to be completely unique to every single listener on this podcast. So if you're looking for financial support, let's say, what does that even mean? Like, does that mean they give you all their money? Does that mean you have carte blanche access to their bank account? Does that mean that you can go to them at any time and they'll invest in your business? Does that mean that do they have to offer the money without you asking, or do you get to just ask and they get to celebrate that you're asking them for money and feel really good and happy about it? And then how often are they providing? Once a week? Are they providing once a month? How much is enough financial support? What's that dollar amount, right? Let's do the math on that. And I just really encourage you to get really specific with yourself on what support looks like, because as human beings, I would say 99% of us, me included, I am not, I am with you too, is we say this vague idea of support, like, oh, he's not supporting me, or they're not supporting me, and I want them to support me. But then they think they're supporting, and so they do something to support us, and then we like move the target a little bit to the left, right? And we're like, yeah, but you didn't do this, right? And man, that's gonna suck for them. Like, let's gonna ease up a little bit on these poor people. They're, maybe they're trying, right? And so I really want to like ask you guys to just really get clear on what you're asking for of this other person, so that they can be set up for success. And then as like critically thinking adults with agency, they can choose to accept that and go with it and do that for you, or choose not to, but at least give them an opportunity to know what you're asking for, right?
Yeah. For some partners, we're just asking for communication. Ask me how my day is. Ask me, what was the funniest client you had today? Obviously we keep everyone, anonymous, but, tell me some funny stories. Like, how was your day? And I think sometimes if you don't communicate with your partner that you really would like to be asked how your day was, or how your business is going, or is there anything I can do to help you, hand out flyers or talk to my buddies' wives, or, to help build your business. Sometimes it doesn't have to be financial, like it can be that you just want to be appreciated. But what does that look like? You have to let them know specifically, right?
Yes. And I know, you mentioned, doing things like handing out flyers, offering to hand out flyers for the business, or telling your buddies' wives. Absolutely. I mean, those are all things that a lot of our partners would probably be very happy to support us with. And I actually have an example of my life coaching business when I started this, and my partner, Jason, I remember he's like, cool, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to support you through this. And I'm like, awesome. And then I'm like, he needs to know what that means, right? And so I just ask, like, I'm like, hey, like, actually, what would be really helpful is I don't have like a lot of followers on social media right now, because I've been all personal on social media, but not business. Do you think you could tell all the people at your work to just follow me, even if they don't want coaching? Just follow me. And he's like, yeah, okay, I can do that. And then sure enough, like the next day he comes back and he's like, okay, all these people are following you. Did they follow you? I'll follow up with people if they didn't. I'm like, yeah, but he wouldn't have ever known that that's what I meant when I said, I want you to support me. Right.
Yeah, they can't read your mind. They're not mind readers.
Yeah.
And you have to read your own mind, because I think sometimes people get upset with their partner for not understanding them, but they don't understand themselves.
Yes.
You need to really ask yourself, what is it that support would look like?
What does that even mean?
What do I even want? Like, I'm mad at you because you're not supporting me. Yeah. Except I don't really know what support looks like. I don't know what that looks like for me, But
you're supposed to just know, because I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And what does it feel like? What does it feel like? So if someone, for example, maybe your partner is asking all the time and that feels like too much, you have to be really real with that. Like, how much do you want them to ask? How much do you want them to do? Babe, I would feel really supported if you did this, or you took an interest in this, or, you backed off just a hair because it's making me feel a little bit pressured or whatever it is. It's all about communication,
Yes. Yes,
right?
yes,
It's
yes.
about
And even saying
communication.
that, right? Even when we're like, I just want him to communicate. What does that mean? Right? Let's get specific. Let's just get really crazy detailed on it.
Yeah.
And you may find out that the support, and this is what I actually hope for all of you, the support that you want that other person to give you is something that you can totally meet your own needs on. Like, and I think that when we're vague about it, and we expect somebody else to just figure us out, like we're this like Da Vinci Code like puzzle, right? And like they're supposed to somehow be smart enough to figure us out. Like we do that, and then it's almost like we're delegating our happiness to somebody else rather than figuring out what we need and going and getting it.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is interesting about our business is our friends and family, loved ones, they don't know what we do because we don't show them. And what I mean by that is, I did my son came in to help me the other day in the treatment room. And I said, lay down on the table for a minute. He's like, uh-oh. And I said, no, lay down on the table for a second. 16-year-old
Like,
kid,
Mom,
right?
is this some coming of age ceremony?
He's like,
What's
Mom,
happening?
what are you going to do to me? Right. And all I did was I took a little bit of just the like massage oil that we have for facial massage. And I just gave him like a temple, back of the head, neck, ears, and head massage. And the kid practically fell asleep. And he was like, Mom, you are really good at this. I'm like, mm-hmm. I didn't know you did that. I just thought you sugared. I said, do you even know what sugaring, what that means? But it was nice because like, when was the last time you gave your partner even just a head massage or a hand massage, if that's what you do, or you sugar their eyebrows, educate them about what you do, and then they can ask questions, help them to understand Mom just doesn't go off to work and magical things happen and she comes home and she's at your whim. She's tired because she's been doing these things. I think really sharing with them what you do. Jen, you have a podcast. And, I love that your husband or your man, he listens to your podcast and engages with you about the podcast. Like, hey, I loved what you said about this.
Yep.
Get your partner on your socials.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get them watching what you do. I'll be on a live and I see my hubby. His name pops up. Mike's watching. I'm like, hi, babe. Because then they can feel invested, right?
Absolutely. And the reason Jason even does any of that is because I asked. I was very specific. I'm like, hey, I just recorded my first podcast. Can you listen and tell me what you think? And then I'm like, hey, how about every week on Tuesday when it comes out, would you mind just listening and let me know, give me some feedback, from, someone who's literally not my demographic at all. but and he does, and every time he's like, that you nailed it, babe. I love that you almost dropped the F-bomb on that one. Good save, but it's great, but he wouldn't know that I want that, right? Without me asking.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I want to segue into is, as sugaring professionals and even estheticians, because, we're dealing with people who are, wearing, like sometimes they're just wearing a robe to lay down and have a facial, so there's a lot of undressing that happens inside our treatment rooms. And with what we do with sugaring, we do a lot of intimate areas. And I wanted to discuss, we talked about this inside of our community. I think it was like almost 2 years ago, but I want to bring this back up again, and talk about those kind of sensitive topics that you might have a partner that doesn't support you doing services that are a little bit more sensitive and might bother them. So let's dive right into that about partners, because if we're communicating and they understand our business and they understand the professionals that we are, then we should be able to have a professional conversation with our partner about sensitive topics. Yeah. So we're going to do a masterclass about this inside the Sugar Tribe in the Advanced Sugar, or the Knowledge Library. But let's address this a little bit, Jen, because I think I know there are a lot of sugaring professionals in our audience that their partner is just not pleased that they're doing these treatments that are a little bit sensitive. So how can we honor their feelings, but also still be able to do our job?
Yeah, no, I love that. And, Shannon, you did this amazing podcast that I listened to just the other day about this very topic, and you gave some fabulous, brilliant recommendations on actions that your tribe can do to help their partner feel more comfortable with you sugaring these intimate areas and being in
Yeah.
these situations where there's a little less clothing than usual.
All right, we're going to take a break and I'm going to throw back to that podcast that I did. It was actually a live inside the group where I had answered someone's question. So let's take a listen to that now. But I have a few tips and tricks, and let's keep talking about this over time because I think that men and women, or women and women, or men and men, no matter what your situation is, your partner will have a little bit of fear if you're working on other people's naked body parts, right? So I can understand how that might be something that's a lot to swallow, right? Especially if they tend to be a jealous person or an insecure person or somebody that just has a lot of background fear that's going on for them. So, a couple of things that you can do. First of all, never match energy with energy, right? So, when you're having this conversation with your partner, it's never good to match these two strong energies because that'll never work. So, if his or her energy is here, don't try to rise up and match it, or else you'll end up doing this. Okay. I want you to, if his or her energy is here, I want you to just stay calm, cool, and collected and professional, because we are professionals at this place. So if you come from a place of professionalism, that's huge. Number one. Number two, I want you to show him or her how you drape. Okay. Show him or her how you would work, say, for a male female example. If I show my husband how I drape, yes, Jazz, it'll be in our group, so don't worry about it. But if you show them how to drape, and you show them, for example, that you can use a hand towel and they will hold their parts for you, it helps them to understand what it is you're doing. That you're not giving them a happy ending, you're not playing with their parts, you're all business, right? And so if you can lay your client down, and in essence your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, lay them down and show them what you're doing and show them your draping, that will help ease their fears. Okay. If you say, you know what, if he's like, oh, hell no, you're not going to sugar my manzillion, like, I'm not letting you do that to me, at least say, can I just do 1 inch, just right on the side where no one would see it? But I want you to see that this isn't a pleasure filled experience for these guys, right? If they're draped, they're holding their own parts, and they feel that it doesn't feel spectacular necessarily, right? You and I both know that it doesn't hurt as much down the line, and guys that get sugared all the time, it's like no big deal, right? But if they feel that it's not pleasure filled, that will help ease the fears as well. If he is someone or she is someone that responds to money, you can show, hey, these clients are loyal. They're coming, every 4 weeks. I make $125 off a manzillion. That's good money, babe. Right? Like, so if money is what motivates them. But I would urge you to stop for a second by being upset with him for not treating you right or telling you can't, and just understand where he's coming from. He's new to this party. You've been sugaring for a while. You sugar men, you sugar women, you could care less. You sugar buttholes, right? Like, we're sugaring booties. Like, men, women, there's poop on booties sometimes. Like, it's gross, right? We don't have a glamorous job, right? So if you can have those gentle conversations, it'll take the guy that's up like this, and it'll relax him a little bit and take him to understand where you're coming from and what your business is like. So it's all about communication. It is all about education and educating your partner to understand exactly what it is that you are doing. So I want you to try that. I want you to keep chatting about this with them and with me.
And I love it because your method really complements what I'm going to share. Yours is very action oriented. And I know that probably every single listener on here is like, just tell me how to do it. Like Shannon's the goddess of this. Just, I want to know how the pro does it. And then I'll just go do it and I'll be successful. Right. And I love that you gave action because we love action. But what I would really say is to complement that is to really do some thought work in it, do some questioning on your own. So one is why do first, and this may seem very obvious to you, but I really want you to ask yourself, why is it important that they support you in this? Why do
Mm-hmm.
you need them to? Do you
Mm-hmm.
really need them to? Is that true? Now, yes, it would be easier, right? It would be much more comfortable and easier on us if we had a partner who's like, yeah, babe, go ahead, have a great time, totally proud of you, right? But at the same time, like we don't need it. We are all professionals here.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we do well and we
Mm-hmm.
go do it. And we don't
Mm-hmm.
need somebody to give us assurance or validation that what we're doing is right or
Yeah.
wrong because we know it's right, right? So that's the first thing I would ask is just really question like, what is it that is making me desire this person's validation so badly and approval so badly?
Yeah.
Because there may be something inside you where there's a little work to do, right? Like, do you believe that you can make this business as amazing as you want without his or her or their approval? Do
Yeah.
you think that's possible?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something in you that says it's not possible. And I really want you to find that and work on it because it's just not true. You are 100% capable of doing it all on your own while loving this other person. So, the other thing I want to offer is that from your partner's well, actually, one more thing besides that is the fact that you also want to ask yourself, how do I feel about it? Like, how do I really feel about sugaring these intimate areas and having these intimate situations with a client? Like, is there something in me that's saying that maybe I don't really approve? Right. Like, now
Mhm.
we think like, no, 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 this is my business. Like, of course I approve. I'm doing it. Right.
Yeah.
Think about it though. There might be something there, right? Like, how comfortable do you feel doing it? And then maybe they're picking up on your own discomfort or kind of lack of confidence in that area that you are doing something that's completely professional and fine, right? So work on that a little bit. The other thing I want to offer is people want us to do things differently. They want us to change in order for them to feel a certain way.
Hmm.
And this is what we call in coaching a manual. Like we have these manuals for all the people in our lives. Like my mom should be proud of me, right? That's a thing in my manual. No, she shouldn't. She doesn't have to be proud of me, right? But we do this to all the people. And unfortunately, our partners, we do it. We have like the biggest manual on earth for our partners. It's like the biggest manual we have. And so the reason we have this manual is because we have all these things we think that they have to do because of how we think it'll make us feel. And they're doing that to you, right? Like if they're not
Mhm.
supporting you, if they're not like totally comfortable with you doing these services, then we're like, well, that they need to change so I can feel better about my job, about my business, right?
Mhm.
No, 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 that's just not the truth, right? They don't have to change. We actually, and this is something I practice all the time with my own personal life, we have to practice allowing other people free agency to think the thoughts and feel the feelings they want to feel.
Yeah.
Now, when I say that, a lot of people want to push back on me. My clients, my newer clients especially, will want to argue. They're like, no, no, no. So basically, I'm just supposed to say, oh, well, partner, I don't care how you feel. I'm just going to do it anyway. Your feelings are your business, Jennifer said, right? No, 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 no. That's just mean. We don't want to be mean to these people who love us. Like we want to do it with compassion and kindness. And I'll give you an example of how I've had to say this before to somebody is, look, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. This is what I hear you saying. And I completely understand where you're coming from on that. Please understand that this is where I'm coming from. I love you so much. And I am 100% okay with giving you the opportunity to feel and think the way you feel. I wish you didn't. It's kind of a bummer for me because I love seeing you feeling comfortable. But,
Yeah.
at the same time, this is I'm a professional. I am damn good at this job. And this is what I'm going to do. And I
Yeah.
love you so much, right?
Yeah.
Compassion, love, understanding, but still own your feelings. Allow them permission to own theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the communication, checking in with yourself and checking in with your partner and your loved ones, and just being all right in the place that you're in. I love that message. Let's talk about your podcast. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I love the name and I love what you stand for. So let's talk about that for a minute. We're going to put the information in the show notes, of course, so that you can subscribe to her podcast. But let's talk about starting from perfect. Let's talk about the name of the podcast and what the concept is about being perfect.
Yes, absolutely. So I am a Christian and not all my clients are, and I'm totally okay with that, but I am. And so I have a belief that we were all born absolutely perfect with everything we need the minute we were born, like probably before we were born, but let's not even go there. And I really do believe that's true. And as we get as when we're young, we still know that. Like you look at like toddlers who are trying to learn how to walk, right? They've never walked before, but they're not like, I never walked before. Yeah, since I've never done it before, I probably can't do it now, right? No, they're like, hey, I'm gonna get up. Oop, my butt. Like, okay, I'm back up again, right? And so we start to lose that the older we get, that knowledge that we are 100% okay exactly the way we are. And it's from stuff outside of us, right? Like we blame our parents and our, everybody else, our upbringing, our bosses. But either way, no matter where it comes from, we start to forget how perfect we really are. We really do all have a divine spark within us that is just dying to shine. And I name my podcast Starting from Perfect because I believe all of us are 100% worthy, no matter what we have done, no matter how accomplished we are, no matter what kind of mood we get in sometimes, 100% perfect, exactly the way we are in every single moment. And that is my belief. And that's what I teach my clients. It's like, none of these things are a problem. You have this, you're 100% perfect, 100% capable. You have 100% of the tools that you'll ever need and that you've ever needed. Let's go.
Yep. And I think that if we can start from perfect and have our partners and our loved ones understand perfect for them, with them, about them, and accept that, then we can truly thrive in this next year. Because if we kind of release the perfection and enjoy the perfect, then 2022 is going to be our year.
Woo!
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you so much for the masterclass that you have put together for us that is inside of the Sugar Tribe in the Advanced Knowledge Library. And I just am glad that you are a part of our community now. So anytime that if you're in our Love2Sugar community, anytime that audience, you have a question that's kind of on the soul side, that's on the heart side, we'll be tagging Jennifer in those topics and she can jump in and maybe give us some great perspective inside our group. So Jen, we look forward to seeing a whole lot of you inside the community this year.
Thanks for welcoming me to the tribe.
All right, tribe, you got this. You can be perfect. We already are. And we can be supported as long as we know what we need. So have a fabulous day, have a fabulous love month, and have a fabulous, thriving 2022. See you soon.